Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are with another edition of Trooper Talk with Trooper Wellman.
Hello.
Trooper Wellman. You know, a lot of things to talk about. One of them is Trooper Smacka. So he got promoted,
He did. He is.
and which is a great thing in the succession of any type of career.
Yes, he's entering his next chapter in his career, and I'm super happy for him and super proud of him. So he's now Sergeant Smacka.
Sergeant Smacka, and
Yep.
so we miss him. We're still going to ask him to come in and tell us what's going on, even though he works all night now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we need to get him in here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Just be like,
That's
just push through or something.
That's all right.
You know what I mean? We've developed a great friendship and a great relationship with you, and we look forward to the future. You know, we have a lot of great things. We are still going to get Ann in here, you know, in the beginning of the year. And, you know, we're looking forward to the future as well. So we appreciate you and into the future.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, you know, and I love that we can get, you know, some stories, but also some safety messages out there to help our motoring public. So
Yeah. So end of the year, you know, we are in the Christmas season, we're in the New Year's season, you know, and, you know, one of the things that we never have talked about is we have the virus.
yes.
And so at the end of the day, you know, when you make a traffic stop, you're walking upon someone that, you know, maybe before, and you know, you can see if a person has a firearm or that they've been in traffic tickets, you know, do you have a vaccination? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, we want you to be safe. So talk to us about, you know.
Some of the challenges we've had with it. So, you know, besides the fact of just our peers alone, all of us getting, you know, catching it or trying to use safe precautions to not get the virus, as well as we lost a couple of our admin staff, which, you know, left a hole in our family, as well as, you know, you just saw last week our sworn Trooper Fontaine, you know, he had other complications, but one of the factors was because of COVID. So it's something that everybody in the world has been dealing with, and they're not alone. We're right there with them. In regards to changing the aspect of our job, we've had all these new obstacles with it. You know, something that people don't even think about is something as simple as when we walk up to your car, like you said, not only are we looking at all of the safety things, is their firearm, where's their hands, what are they doing, how many people are in the vehicle, do I smell anything, are they impaired? All these things are going on in our mind, as well as now we have this new obstacle where we have a mask on and you can't hear me. And we're on the highway, so it's very loud on the highway, and I'm yelling and I'm trying to tell you, like, you know, the reason for the stop, or I'm Trooper Wellman, how are you? And it's this new obstacle. And something as simple as me elevating the tone of my voice, and it sounds like I'm yelling at you, could dictate if this interaction is going to be good or bad. As simple as that, as my tone of my voice. And it's the same thing with somebody interacting with us. If I walk up to the car and I'm like, hello, you know, Trooper Wellman with the Nevada State Police, how are you doing today? And if somebody, you know, even if they say I'm fine, but if they were like, I'm fine, the way you talk to somebody or the way you do your tone dictates how it's going to go. And it changes my energy, it changes your energy, everything, right? Yeah. So, okay, so the mask. So the mask, like now I'm elevated, I'm yelling more, I'm trying to talk to you, and if people in their car are wearing a mask, I can't read their lips and I'm trying to hear them. It's a big obstacle in aspects of communicating, as well as if I walk up on someone's car, and I have had it now multiple times where people don't want to roll down their window because they don't want me to be that close to them, you know, and I have to take that into consideration. Unfortunately, I do need to roll down their window. I do need to interact with them. You know, lawfully they are being detained so that I can complete my investigation. You know, that there was a reason they were stopped, and I do need to obtain their documents and things like that. But when the pandemic first started, we were wearing gloves, masks. We'd walk up. We would change our gloves almost every stop. We would put hand sanitizer on our gloves. Like, we were taking a lot of precautions, and now it's kind of a preference to the officer itself, the trooper, or the parole, the officer. So if you want to wear gloves, you can, or if you the mask mandate isn't for outdoors anymore. So how does that work if we take somebody out of a vehicle? We're technically outdoors. Sometimes I ask the individual, would you like me to put a mask on? Would you like to put a mask on? And then the last thing I'll throw out here is, with impaired drivers, if they're wearing a mask, sometimes it obstructs the scent. So now it's a new obstacle of not being able to smell.
Yeah.
It really, the smell is a big one, but I mean, we still can smell it. And then, so I'm now relying on if their eyes are bloodshot or glossy or watery. I'm trying to listen if they have slurred speech. Sometimes it helps when I watch somebody's mouth move. If they've taken a controlled substance. Have you ever heard the term of like cotton mouth, where it's like their mouth is very dry, or they'll get a buildup of saliva and their mouth will almost like click like when they're talking.
Okay.
And sometimes that is an indication that they're under the influence of something besides maybe just alcohol. So those are all different things that I look for as an officer, as well as my peers. But with that mask obstructing that, we've had to adapt and overcome and really like fine tune our investigating skills so that we make sure we're making the right decision. If you're going to take someone to jail, you're literally taking away their rights, and you don't want to, guess. You would never guess, right? Yeah,
right, of course.
So
you want to be 100%.
100%.
Right,
yes.
Right.
You literally have the authority to change someone's life at that moment. So you got to make sure you're 100%.
Yeah. This week, last week, I was driving my truck. I got pulled over.
Oh no!
By a Metro motorcycle officer.
Phew, it wasn't us.
No.
Just kidding.
I went through a red light that was yellow. And so he came up and he had the mask, and you know what I mean? And so the first thing that as soon as he walked up, I had my window quarter of the way down and I had my hands on the steering wheel, right? Mm-hmm. And he walked up and he said, okay, you can roll down your window. So I rolled down the window. And he had the mask on. He had his helmet. I mean, with the sunglasses. I mean, and so you knew it was an officer, right? But it was like totally different.
Yeah.
Right? Because and so while he was talking to me, and he said, like license and registration, and and I'm okay, it's very chaotic in your own mind.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, oh my goodness, what did I do? You know what I mean? And so, and that he's only doing his job.
Right.
Right. And so I found it to be like he was fantastic, professional, you know what I mean, the whole thing. But, the important thing was that it was very also scary for him. I mean, you have a mask on, you have.
Yeah. I mean,
and so
we have not
don't
stopped.
know who's there.
Yeah. We haven't stopped working since the pandemic happened. Everybody got to lock down in their homes and we didn't. And that's something that, we took an oath. We understand what we're here for and our mission and our purpose, and we're okay with that. That's why we're the frontline, workers. So I refer to us a lot of just like soldiers. Like, we're here for our country, we're here for our state, we're here for our citizens. And us walking up to on these cars or having to go hands-on with individuals, like a pedestrian stop or something, we're putting ourselves in those situations to be possibly contract the virus. And it's not even just that virus. Let's rewinding even before COVID. I mean, people have all kinds of diseases that we always have to take into consideration.
Sure.
If somebody's bleeding, I'm going to glove up. I'm going to take precaution. I don't want to get exposed to something they may have. I don't know if you've ever heard of MRSA. People have open sores. Just there's always things to think about as an officer that you don't want to come in contact with.
Well, no, what I was going to say is I was watching the news, and I forget who it was, but somebody just got arrested for something, and it was a gentleman.
Oh, I know what you're
and
talking
he
about.
had all these open sores.
I saw that.
My thought, as soon as I saw this, was, holy smokes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you even approach somebody like this? I mean, they get the blood, they get the, and so exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and I will 100% tell you that individual has all those sores on his face because he is obviously a narcotic user, probably methamphetamine or something, because that is a common trait that you will get if you are a habitual user. Now, when you come across, now just put yourself in our shoes for like 2 seconds. If you come across somebody, let's say they're being aggressive or they were bothering people, and now it's up to you to come there and go interact with him, and you see all those sores on his face or on his hands, and he's acting erratic, and you have to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to give him commands, and if he doesn't listen, I'm going to have to touch him. I'm going to have to, try to restrain him for these people's safety so that he's not a threat to them or a harm to himself, because maybe he needs medical attention, maybe there's all these different factors. But yeah, you have to touch these individuals, and you just have to take precaution. And it's the same thing with us. Like when we walk up on someone's car, if you don't feel comfortable and you want to put a mask on, put a mask on, Like I am going to be close talking to you through your window because I have to. It's too loud out there, and I have to interact with you, and I have to talk to you. So, if you feel like you need to take some precaution, go ahead.
Yeah. It's something that we never really talked about in all the things, and so, but it's something that, unfortunately in the world that we live in today, that we have to, talk about. And so I know for me that, one of the things that was really cool is that when he walked up, it was like right here, right? And everything was peaceful.
Yeah.
And so I think that once something happens in an investigation, or you get, like, okay, you made a mistake or whatever, but like, to try to be, peaceful.
Yeah. Something else I was thinking about when you were describing how he walked up and everything he was wearing and what you were seeing was going back to body language and just saying how I have to raise my voice so that you can hear me now because I have a mask obstructing my speech, as well as you do too. Something as simple as sunglasses when we walk up on a car, and it's okay to wear sunglasses. But what I was going to say was, when you look at me, you're already scared anyway. And when you're looking at me, if you see me and you look at my eyes, it humanizes me. And you may relax a little if you see that my eyes are soft. Or you might think, okay, she's not glaring. If I was glaring at you and I was like, hi, I'm Trooper Wilma with Nevada State Police. The reason for the stop, if I was glaring at you, you're instantly going to tense up and get defensive or be like, oh my gosh, she's having a bad day or something, right? But if I approach you and I'm calm, and we could say calm, cool, and collective, then it will also feed off of your energy or like calm you down a little bit. So let's say I'm wearing sunglasses, but now I don't have a mask. If you can see me smile, or you can see like, hi, how are you doing? It'll calm you down again. So again, body language is huge. The tone of my voice is huge. Everything plays a factor. Everything, it's crazy how much goes into an interaction as a law enforcement officer. So yes, now having the mask, having sunglasses, he has his motor helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. So you're just like, oh my gosh, there's like a robot next to me. Even if he's the nicest man ever, you're like, he looks like a stormtrooper or something, like complete somebody in a costume. I don't know who that is. I can't even recognize who it is if I wanted to, and you just want to get to your interaction and be done. And it's a bummer because it takes away humanizing us a little. You know what I'm saying?
I do. So he was so professional, this guy, right? The one who pulled me over. I couldn't, you know what I mean? And yesterday, I'm going to show you a video. We did something with a bunch of the motor officers.
Oh, cool.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so, the thing is that it doesn't matter a motor officer or not. The most important thing is to always treat the officers with the most respect. And in turn, by
100%.
doing that, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so, I think that it's really a good lesson that after doing the trooper talk, I always knew it, but it's always good to reinforce those things that, if you see an officer, and when I saw them yesterday and I went up to all the motor officers and I went out and I said, I just want to, wish you Merry Christmas, they appreciate it. And so I think that the lesson that we have to learn for this year too is that, love the officers.
Yeah.
And
it's a two-way street, Neil. I think sometimes officers get jaded and we see so much bad that we almost become robots. And so it's a two-way street. We need to remember who we are, and that's someone's mother, father, brother, sister. And I make sure that I never lose sight of that as an officer. And I've been doing this 10 years now. And I made a promise to myself when I took this badge, and I knew it was going to be heavy wearing it. And I promised myself I would never change who I was and lose my sincerity or my compassion for others. And so I always make a point to be kind to people. And if somebody, why can't I wave and say hi to somebody? Why can't I go out of my way to do that for you too? So it's a two-way street. And the only way for us to become one and like mend this bond, you know, that's been somewhat broken throughout
Yeah.
the years, is to do it together.
Yeah. And I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
I like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's very important.
Step by step.
Step by step. We could talk for hours.
We could, yeah, sorry.
All right, Johnny, we're doing the pictures. You can see his smile over there. He's like, all right, stop talking over there.
Sorry.
All right, but anyway.
Drank some
we're-
coffee
we're,
today.
We're mending that. And I think that that's very important. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to some things here.
Oh, there it is.
All right, so we had Shop with the Cop. We went to the Walmart last weekend. And, you know, it's really important that we were there for all the families.
Yeah.
And so Nevada State Police, right, had a tremendous support out there with all the other officers from the
Yes.
Clark County School District Police. I saw Johnny pointed out the Nevada DMV.
Yeah.
They had one guy there. We took a picture of his thing, and John, I was like, "Can I take a picture of your badge?" And he looked at me and he was like, "Yeah, I guess so." You know, and so Johnny took it.
Yep. Marshals were there.
Yeah, the marshals were there.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, I love the interagency or the outer agency, whatever, you know, of everybody coming together. And so
Yeah.
we just wanted to say, you know, again, thank you. You know, we had a wonderful time going there with you, and we know that you and everybody volunteers. So, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for being there. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't have been possible. So we are beyond grateful to you. The Fontaine family in these photos is beyond grateful to you, and CoinMart and everybody that made this possible. You know, we are somewhat of a smaller agency, and we're growing, but one day we would like to have our own Shop with a Cop. But in the meantime, the Clark County School District Police Department, we are so grateful to them for them always opening up their event to us and letting us be a part of it, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have been able to make a difference in some of these kids' life and have these interactions and, you know, get out there and be a part of the community. So we're very grateful to them for always welcoming us with open arms. And again, thank you so much to you, because if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't have been possible.
Well, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be safe.
The-
But I would say that it was great because
was a great
all
day.
these kids wouldn't have had a great Christmas.
Yeah.
And so we were able to change somebody's life for the positive on that Saturday.
Yeah.
And so if that one person goes and tells or helps another person, you know what I mean? Like, and so I think it was great. So we were really honored too.
It not only warms our hearts, but it warms the community heart. Like when we post these photos, I had so many people reach out to me and be like, "Oh, this is so cool. What'd you guys do?" And they want to know more about it. How can I donate? Could I donate some, you know, gifts for the children? Did they need anything else? Do they need jackets? Do they need this? It was just like an opening to really get the community involved, and people want to help. You know, people always want to help, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah. All right. So next year, Shop with a Cop, Nevada State Police, and Lieutenant Perez and
Trooper Brosnahan, and then the
and she's the dispatch.
Yes, yeah.
And I asked her again. I said, "Listen, I want to get you on the Trooper Talk."
yeah. What'd you
Because
say?
the dispatchers are the lifeblood,
Oh, that's our lifeline.
right? I mean, like,
Yeah, without our dispatch, we couldn't function. They are literally our lifeline, and we owe so much to them. I love that our dispatch center in our headquarters station, you can just walk down the hallway and it opens up the door to our entire dispatch center. And I love that it's in the same building as us, because we can walk in there. Trooper Smack and I, we always bring them gifts, or if you know, do something silly on the radio, you're like, "Oh, what kind of coffee do you want?" Like, we have this bond and this connection where we're a family, and it's just so beautiful. I love our dispatchers, and we're so grateful to them.
and another thing that part of the DPS that you could do. You know,
Oh, yeah.
maybe you don't want to go out on the road, but maybe you want to be in the dispatcher, or
Yeah.
you know what I
A
mean?
lot of our dispatchers actually came from dispatch and transferred and went to the police academy and became troopers. And they just had that upper hand because they already knew how the radio traffic worked. They knew pretty much how the calls, you know, went down, or they've seen things, heard things because of their experience. So, and also, I'm not so sure right now just because of COVID, but when things calm down, just like you can do a ride along with any police agency, you can do a sit along with dispatch, and you can come sit down with our dispatchers, listen to the headset, see the screen, see real time what they're
that's
dealing
cool.
with, and, you know, really walk in their shoes too. So it's an awesome experience, and I highly recommend it to anybody.
and maybe that's somebody's career.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? That's not thinking about it, because you probably have to be calm and cool, and it probably takes a very special person.
It really does. It really does, because they hear a lot of things that we don't, and they will clean a lot of it up to bring clarity to dispatch to us. Hey, there's an individual over here. There's 2 cars over here, and when they're receiving the information, it's probably very chaotic. I was just in a crash, or blah 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 blah, or maybe they're not breathing, or this, that, da, da. And our dispatchers are trained to remain calm and get the information and get the vital information that they need to put out to us, so that when we're coming to a scene, we're safe and we have all the resources we need possible.
Right, with the most up-to-date information.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, yesterday I told you that we were playing around with it. That they asked me to come and
The voters.
Do a little thing, because yesterday there was a problem on certain highway, and they had a bunch of different agencies out there, all on the motorcycles.
Yes.
And they were doing their business, and so here's the video.
All right, sir. Just a couple of violations here from the North Pole.
I've been a very good boy, Santa.
That was unfortunate. Your speed back there, you're switching lanes multiple times, crossing over the median, the gore line, following too close, not using your signal, and
I have a red nose. I can help you in the night.
oh, well, you have a nicer sleigh than me, so I'm going to have to hold you accountable. It's just a couple citations. Starting at the top again. Speeding, following too close, not using your signal, having a vehicle that's not registered, no insurance, not the correct licensing for this, passing on the right, passing on the left, passing on top, passing on bottom, passing upside down. Do you want me to continue?
Oh my goodness, Santa.
What can we do to make this right?
I give some toys to the needy and to everybody.
I think we need to donate this vehicle to one of our officers.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Who's not naughty?
All right, I believe one of our officers will pick out later here in a raffle.
And then we'll give them the keys.
Yeah, sounds good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry Christmas from the Clark County School District Police Department. The big guy, Chris Kringle, Santa Claus. Slow down, plan your route, be safe this holiday.
Merry Christmas, but you need to slow down, sir. Green's a little too fast for us.
Happy holidays from Boulder City Police Department. We hope you guys all have a safe and enjoyable holiday and drive safely for us all.
Yeah, I know all those guys.
And so there was like 30 of them, right? And so, at the end of the day, we always talk, about impairment and things of this nature. But, when I went over, every one of them said, listen, we're here for the speed.
Yeah.
And so,
Speed kills.
How many people are driving in a car or, motorcycle for that matter? You know what I mean? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I mean,
So as of today, Nevada has 366 fatalities as of today. We're not even finished with the year. And our two biggest contributors is speed and impairment. And that is why we're out there in numbers getting grants from the Office of Traffic Safety to fund these officers to be out in high visibility to slow these drivers down, because it's not to give people tickets. It's not to, cause hardship from the financial. It's to slow you down so you can save your life, because we keep seeing it. 366 times we've seen it this year. Someone lost their life possibly from either not wearing their seatbelt or impairment or speed or not paying full attention, being distracted. And it's just, we keep seeing it over and over. And the only way we know how to get people to pay attention is to actually make these traffic stops and talk to them and tell them you need to slow down, by either verbally educating them or by issuing a citation. And so ultimately we're just trying to save your life.
So we're going to be doing a lot more things this year. I spoke to them, and so that we can, do these little clips and things
Yeah.
like this, to just get the word out and stuff like this. we're all guilty of going over the speed limit.
Yeah,
Right.
we're human, right?
And so the thing is that, you know, I know on a personal level, you know, it's not about the speed and driving fast. It's about just getting from point A to point B in a safe manner.
Yeah.
And so.
And Neil, these individuals aren't getting stopped for 5 miles over the speed limit. You know, like the car got away from a little bit. Like, it's not that. These individuals are traveling at speeds of 25 miles plus over the speed limit. And that's why they're out there slowing them down. There's no need to go that fast, especially in residential areas or even on our highways. You know, when you start traveling at speeds of 80 miles an hour or higher, those are fatal consequences. Even 65. I mean, really, any speed is a fatal consequence. But, you know, you're increasing your odds of not surviving this crash by every mile that you go up.
And you know, so this year, I don't know the numbers, right? But I know we had a few, without going into specifics, of cars going over 100 miles an hour and ending in accidents.
Yeah.
Some of them publicly out there, some of them not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the thing is that I don't think that people understand how fast 120 miles an hour is.
No.
And that when you are traveling at this speed, forgetting the fact that, you know, making a turn and the whole thing, and there could be a pothole in the road and, you know, whatever. I mean, like, it's things are so fast.
It's absolutely insane.
And so you're trained to travel at these speeds. And the normal motoring public is not.
I've had 10 years worth of training at traveling at high rates of speed in our patrol vehicle. You know, if we're going to an emergency situation, lights and siren activated to notify the public. And I've been trained on how to take turns at a high rate of speed in water, like so weather, different inclement weather conditions, all kinds of different things. And even still, I don't even know going to. I even responded to my partner's been shot before, and I don't even think I got to 120. It is so fast that to control your vehicle at that speed it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You really have to be focusing, and like you said, if one obstacle gets in front of you, one pothole, you know, one car changes lanes, they didn't anticipate you were traveling that fast, you're done.
You're done.
It's done.
Yes.
Somebody's done. Like, it's a life. Like, it's crazy.
And so we want everyone to be, you know, here and be safe and everything like that. So
Thank you.
We'll give one more shout out to Trooper Smacka. All right. Sergeant Smacka, we'll see you soon.
See ya.